Hi, I'm Heather. Welcome to class. Today we're going to work towards handstands. Before we begin, if you find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you're notified when a new video is available. We're going to start in Tadasana, stretching the arms up. Bring the legs together, because when we're in handstand eventually, we do bring the legs together. So bring this feeling of uniting the legs, inner feet in contact, spread the toes and press down into the feet. Then to bring in awareness of how we need to work in the mid-body, press the thighs back and the buttocks forward. When we do that, we can help lengthen the tailbone down and lift the navel up, which engages our abdominal muscles, supporting us when we're in the full pose handstand. Fingers interlocked. Press your palms forward and straighten the elbows. Inhale, take your arms up. And we feel here how we're bringing in the extension in the wrists that's required for our handstand. Also note, when we stretch the arms up, we want to lengthen the lower back. Continue drawing the tailbone down and lifting the navel up, rather than standing with an arch in your back and the belly pulling forward. Can you lift up the navel? Exhale the arms down. Let's go again. Opposite index finger interlocks on top. As you press your palms forward, squeeze the elbows straight without dropping your chest. Lift up the sternum. Inhale, take your arms up, elbows squeezing in, and again, noting what you're doing in the mid-body. You're not just letting the buttocks stick back, the tailbone lift, and the belly pull forward. Can you press your thighs back, but then press the buttocks forward as you lengthen your tailbone down and zip the navel up? So all these actions we then implement when we're upside down, standing on our hands. Exhale, arms down and rest. Clearly we want to get a feeling of standing on our arms and our hands, and we're going to do down face dog pose a few times and integrating the height of the feet up on blocks, then up on a chair, and then up on the wall. So we get more and more of that feeling of standing on our hands. Start with 2 blocks. I call this blade shape. Put your blocks blade shape against the wall, hip width apart. Come down onto your knees, bring your toes to touch the wall between your blocks, buttocks back, stretch forward. So you get an idea of where you want the hands to be relative to the wall. Inhale, shoulders forward, tuck your toes as you exhale, step one foot up onto your block with the heel up the wall, other foot onto the other block, heel up the wall. Start with the knees bent and pitch the buttocks up. Knees and feet are hip width apart, hands are shoulder width apart. And you're pushing through the arms and hands to lift the torso away from the floor. Then straighten the knees, lifting the buttocks up. Press the head of the thighs up. Push the heels into the wall. Suction the inner hands down. Then we can step off the blocks, come down, have a rest, relax your arms and shoulders. Now we're going to turn the blocks up to their full height. Again, they're hip width apart. Once more, start with your big toes touching the wall, feet between your blocks, as you set the distance of where you want your hands to be. When you look forward at your hands, make sure that your hands are shoulder width and that the middle fingers are pointing forward and that the other fingers are spreading from that point. Inhale, shoulders forward, tuck your toes, exhale, lift up. So you're in down face dog pose. Step one foot up onto your block, heel to the wall. Other foot onto your block, heel to the wall, knees bent, lift the buttocks. Then again, look forward to your hands. Are you pressing the knuckle of the index finger down? Can you suction the inner hand down? Feed the arms and the hands into the floor And then as you look back towards your feet, lift the torso away from the arms and the hands. Straighten the knees. Press the head of the thighs up. So you feel that you're lifting the pelvis away from the rib cage, lengthening the waist. Then step down, come down, have a rest. Again, relax your arms. Now we'll take the feet higher by putting our feet on the front of the seat of the chair. So if we establish our stance by bringing the feet underneath the front of the seat, stretch your arms forward, broaden the palms, inhale, shoulders forward, exhale, lift up the hips, step one foot onto the front of the seat, other foot onto the front of the seat, make sure your chair is firmly against a wall. Knees bent, push away from the floor. So again, this idea of feeding the arms and the hands into the floor to lift the torso away from the floor. Straighten the knees. But go on moving the armpit chest towards the chair. Keep the heels elevated so you maintain the lift in the buttocks. Smooth, steady breathing. Then step down, come down, and have a rest. The poses that we've been doing are a variation of dog pose. Now we're going to come more directly into standing on our hands and arms with the torso vertically top the shoulders and wrists. Sit with your feet touching the wall. Use a belt to mark the line of the back of the hips. Then we turn and place the hands on the floor just in front of your belt. If your shoulders feel tight, walk your hands a little further forward away from the wall. Palms are broad. Lift your hips up, take your heels back to the wall. So initially it's like we're doing a very short dog pose. The distance between the hands and the feet is shorter than normal. Then look back towards the feet. Step one foot up the wall. Can you keep your knees together? Inhale. Exhale, step the other foot up the wall and keep the knees bent initially. So as you bend the knees, move the armpit chest towards the wall. Then slowly straighten the legs. Continue to move the armpit chest towards the wall. Press the thighs up. And ideally your shoulders and hips are vertically top the wrists. Then step down. Let's do Uttanasana to rest. Drape the back of the hands onto the floor. If you can't reach, bend the knees so the wrists have some rest. Sometimes when we come into this pose, we try to step the second foot up the wall and we just slip down the wall. We can't hold it. Often that's because as you're intending to step your second leg up, you're pushing yourself away from the wall. The shoulders come beyond the line of the wrists and it's hard to get that feeling of pushing, suctioning the feet to the wall. So we really need to work to move the shoulders back this way towards the wall. Let's try again. Hands shoulder width, heels back to the wall. So already notice, are your shoulders coming beyond the line of the wrists? Can you move them back towards the wall, even though you might be looking forward to your hands? Step one foot up the wall. Can you step with your opposite leg first? Inhale. Exhale. Step up your second leg, knees bent. Now as you're looking towards the wall, move your armpit chest, your shoulders towards the wall. It is helpful to look towards the wall so that you're enabling the shoulders to move towards the wall. Then straighten the legs, Those who are supple, don't go pushing the lumbar spine in. Keep the lumbar spine broad. And step down. Have a rest. Relax the wrists. If you struggle to keep the elbows straight, it can be helpful to use a strap around your elbows, in which case we can use the blocks to define where we're wanting to place the hands. So we could put the blocks there on either sides of our mat where the strap was marking the back line of our hips. Then we can use our strap shoulder width. So this is a good way to measure it. Put it underneath the elbow over the top of the thumbnail. Then when you place that around the elbow tips, you hold your arms in place, the hands are shoulder width. Press the hands to the floor. Palms are broad. Step the heels back to the wall, look towards the wall. If you can't fit your head between your body and the strap, take your strap down so that it sits just below the elbow tip. Heels to the wall, look towards the wall. Step one foot up the wall, knees together, inhale, exhale, step your second foot up the wall, knees bent, and as you feed the arms and hands down into the floor, pressurize the knuckles of the index fingers down, move your armpit chest towards the wall, slowly straighten the knees. And those who are supple, curl your sitting bones to the heels a little more so you're not dipping the lumbar spine in. Now raise the right leg up. Internally rotate the right thigh so the inner right thigh rolls away from the wall. Then step the right foot down, raise the left leg. Internally rotate the left thigh. The inner left thigh rolls away from the wall, keeping the pelvis level to the wall. Go on drawing the navel in towards the spine. Step the foot down and then come down all the way and release the strap, rest your arms. Now, there's another approach that we can use, and that is having a bolster behind the back body, the back of the head, as we place our hands here close to the wall, and we'll step our feet onto the front of the seat in this position. One thing to note is that the chair may want to slide away from you. If you do have sandbags, you can potentially put sandbags on the floor behind the legs of the chair. But as we consider we want to keep the chair in the same spot, we need to pull the sitting bones and the hips back towards the wall so the hips are defined vertically top the shoulders. We place the hands on the floor on either sides of the bolster, and we look back towards the legs as the back of the head and the upper back rest into the bolster. Then step one foot onto the front of the seat of the chair, other foot onto the front of the seat of the chair, and pull your hips back towards the wall. So ideally the chair's not sliding. If your chair is sliding, it may be because you're not drawing your hips back over the shoulders enough. Pull the heels back, hips back, sitting bones back towards the wall. Can you get that feeling of feeding the arms and the hands down into the floor and rebounding the torso up away from the arms and the hands? Then step down and have a rest. Rest the wrists. Now, we'll try the Eka Pada variation, the raising of one leg. Feel free to use your strap around the elbows as we did in the previous variation, particularly if you find it's difficult to keep your arms strong and straight. Place the hands on either sides of the bolster. Let the back of the head, upper back rest into the bolster, so you're leaning into the bolster, but you're still pulling the torso away from the floor. Step one foot up onto the chair. See if you can alternate which leg wants to step up first. Other foot. Then pull the hips back towards the wall. Raise one leg up, internally rotate that thigh, back at the pelvis level to the wall, go on pulling the hips back towards the wall, lower that leg, raise the other leg, internally rotate the raised leg, pull the hips back towards the wall, then step the leg down and all the way down to have a rest. Now, some may be considering kicking up off the chair into handstand. The only concern I have with that is the coming down, because I don't want you to crash and hurt yourself. I would suggest we start kicking up from the floor. So as we're preparing to kick into the full pose, just for a moment, let's place the hands your fingers length away from the wall. Look towards the wall, and as you lift your heels, lift the hips, walk in until the crown of the head touches the wall. Shoulders should be vertically top the wrists. Then come back down. Let's go again. Lift the hips, bring your shoulders vertically top the wrists, crown of the head towards the wall, looking towards the floor between the hands. And then come down, have a rest. Now, as we prepare to kick up, it's sometimes a matter of trial and error, and it may take quite a bit of time, such as weeks, with repetitive practice of kicking up, and eventually one day it comes. You can use a strap to support your arms. Again, it can go around the elbow creases, helping you to straighten your arms. And we set the hands a finger's length away from the wall. We're going to start pressing the hands into the floor, your fingers length away from the wall. Move your shoulders, vertically top the wrists, and we're going to kick up and come down, kick up and come down a few times. And if you can manage, we alternate which leg we kick with. So we'll go with our favored leg. Inhale, exhale, kick up to find the wall and then come back down again. Swap your legs. Inhale, kick up as you exhale to find the wall and come back down. Swap your legs. Inhale, exhale, kick up and back down again. Last side. Inhale, exhale, kick up, find the wall and come back down again. And rest in Uttanasana. Now, we go up and we intend to stay. Remembering the engagement of the core of the body, we'll be keeping the buttocks off the wall. Use your strap if you need it. Place your hands a finger's length away from the wall. Start with your shoulders vertically top your wrists. Inhale, exhale, kick up, find the wall. Heels slide up the wall, buttocks press away from the wall. Tailbone lifts up, engage the abdominal muscles. Press the knuckles of the index fingers down and press into the pads of the fingers. Keep breathing. Then, as you come down, lower one leg, but try and keep the hips back towards the wall as much as you can so you control your descent. And then we come down and rest the arms. In the beginning, when we're approaching handstand, it can be a challenge to get ourselves up and stay. It's definitely helpful to have someone nearby to help catch us and pull the hips back towards the wall, hold the legs up, etc. But if you're on your own, you keep practicing and eventually it will come. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me. For more in-depth teaching, check out the video library on my website, heatherkitchenyoga.com.au. The link is in the description box below.